بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أيها المشاهدون في كل مكان، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I welcome you to another exciting episode of Jamahliy Talk. My name is Dr. HASSANAT Nafi. We'll be talking about upbringing, linking with adolescence and puberty in Islam. What are the expected things in bringing up our child? What do we need to do? What are the things expected of us while we are training our child from toddler to puberty? Because there is no how you will talk about upbringing that we won't discuss puberty and adulthood, in essence, adolescent. You see, puberty, it is the age with which there is a physiological and psychological development which span between childhood and maturation, or call it adolescent. At this stage, there are several changes in our world of children. You tend to see so many physiological changes in them. Meanwhile, we need to understand what puberty is. Because if we do not understand what puberty is, we might not be able to track the onset of puberty in our children. And that may lead to failure in the upbringing. And mind you, once the upbringing is failed, the motherhood will be questioned in future. However, when do we expect puberty to set in? Puberty sets in at the age of 8 to 13 in females. At this stage, there are some signs that are expected to see in them. What are the signs? One of the signs is growth spurts. You see a kind of rapid growth in them. They tend to increase in height, increase in size. You see, at this particular stage, we call something chemical in the body. They are called hormones. These hormones are secreted from the brain signal to the pituitary gland. That gland, you see, we all have brain. At that brain, at the base structure of the brain, we have the pea-like structure there, which is called the pituitary gland. It's going to signal to it to secrete hormones. It might be pre-hormone at times, and these ones are the ones to signal to our reproductive tract. We have some organs there too. The organs or the tissues, they are called gonads. They are responsible for reproduction, because those are the things we expect in puberty. So this gonads is going to secrete another hormone. In females, you know, we have ovaries. The ovaries are the ones carrying the egg. Averagely in females, we have 500 and 500 left and right. So which matures based in every month. So once these hormones are secreted, they tend to be changes. Mind you, the first changes you notice in your word or child when they are attaining this stage is a swing in mood. You will just see them on a normal day, something you can say to them that they will laugh and they will take with levity. You tend to see some changes, they will take it serious. It might even change their mood. That is to tell you they are attaining the age of puberty. Another sign you will see there is a kind of hair growing at the pubic area on the body as well. Once this hair started growing, of course, is as a result of some hormones. It could be a growth hormone that is responsible. Several of them that works in the body. You see them, they tend to change in structure. Another thing is breast buds. You see them, they started growing little, the breast started increasing in size. These are the effects of the chemicals that are secreted at the pubertal age. You will see these changes in them, and that is to tell you your word is attaining puberty, and at that spot, at that point of their life, at that age, it means you have to intensify in your effort. You have to intensify in your child upbringing. You have to let them know the right from the wrong. You scold them when they are wrong, and then you appreciate them when they are right. You acknowledge them so that they will know in life that not every time you don't get it right. When you get it right, you have reward. So also Allah says that there is reward for those that are righteous. Let me go to the Holy Quran that says we should take care of that talks about puberty in children, and that is Quran Surah An-An'am verse 155. Says wala taqrabu mal al-yatim illa billati ihsan. Allah was warning us against approaching orphan properties. Do not approach orphan's property illa billati ihsan, but with best intentions. Atta yabluga ashudda. You can see Allah is giving us the condition until they attain puberty, until they attain maturity. That is to tell you the importance of maturity. You see, at this stage, if you do not understand what puberty is, you might likely miss that stage because it is very short. It only spans between 2 to say 4 years. That is when puberty lasts. But to some parents, to some mothers, they would think the children are still young because there are some children that do not have a kind of height while they are growing up. You think they are still young? No, don't leave them. It's still childhood. They are still, don't worry, they will grow up to understand. No. Once they are attaining this age, try to checkmate them. Even Islam enjoined us to always to try and introduce our word and children to Salat at the age of 7. That is to tell you Islam is science. You see, when at this age, it is obvious that these hormones that I mentioned earlier, talk about the gonadotropins, the ones that are secreted in the brain, which signals to the one that are secreted in the ovaries to release egg. Because once those hormones fails, you can be sure no egg will be released. You can see Allah He really engineered our body in such a way that from the brain to where it is needed, these chemicals will be transported there. So at this stage, we have to let them realize this is the way of your Lord. You must pray. Let them know at tashahud. Introduce them to 5 pillars of Islam, which is the belief and the faith in Allah and His apostle. The salat, zakat, fasting, and pilgrimage. We have to make them understand why they are Muslims. We have to make them understand what are the expected things of them as a Muslim. What do the society expect from a Muslim? Let them understand, because at this stage, even scientists says their brain at this stage is at the peak, like it's working very well. So if the brain can do such a swing from childhood to adulthood, you can see it's a great work, because it is not easy to swing. It shows it's a very magnificent, it's a very great work. So at this stage, we have to make them understand the right from the wrong. Now, another sign you will see in the growing up child when they are moving from childhood to to puberty is a kind of smell. Yes, there is a change. You know, when they are still small, they have a kind of odor, babyish odor. You will see a swing in that smell. It's not a serious one anyway, but when you move close to them or you try to check them, you will understand what I'm saying. To those people that already have their children in this particular stage, they can always relate with what I'm saying. So there is always a change. Once there is change in chemical system in the body, of course, there is always the change is going to be physical and physiological. And at this stage, you know, they are always conscious of their society, the social environment. They are always conscious of it, and that is when you will see them saying, "Mommy, I don't want to wear this. You know, my mate will be making jest of me," all that. Then another Quran verse that talk about puberty is Quran Surah to Yusuf. Yeah, Quran chapter 12, verse 22. Walamma balago bada unzu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Walamma balago ashuddahu atainahu hukman wa hilma. وكذلك نجزي المحسنين ولما بلغ أشده. And when he reached his maturity, ولما بلغ أشده آتيناهم, and when he is reached his maturity, hukman wa ilman, Allah says we give them hukma, knowledge, wisdom, wa ilma, and knowledge. And thus, وَكَذَلِكَ نُجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ, thus we reward righteous. Simple meaning is, at this stage, it is a stage of accountability for them. It is a stage with which when they make a mistake, they must rectify. They must pay for it. You make them realize the right from the wrong. You see, if any mother fails at this stage, forget. That is failure in motherhood, because this is the stage with which they will carry on with whatever they have been taught, whatever they have acquired, whatever they have learned throughout their life. What are you doing to encourage your child? What are you doing to educate them at this stage? Dear mothers, my viewers at home, what are you doing to checkmate your motherhood? Are you at the right path or at the wrong path? Don't forget, at this stage they need more of our du'as. We need to pray for them. We need to make them, educate them about life. Similarly, there is also a Quran verse that buttresses this as well. That's Quran 28, verse 14, Surah to Qasas. It also states, "Walamma balagu ashudahu wastawa atainahu ukman wa ilma." You can see Allah is emphasizing that at this stage, ukma wa ilma is telling us that at this stage we give them wisdom and knowledge. At this stage they are exposed. They already know. Yes, you see, sometimes you don't want them to know something, and even mere sign they can deduce. Mere sign they can understand what you are insinuating. So at this stage is telling us how vital this puberty age is. So to save the time, I will mention the last sign with which you can observe during this puberty age. It is onset of menstruation, and this is the end of puberty and the beginning of adulthood. May Allah in His infinite blessing assist us in upbringing our child, help us and accept all we have put forward as an act of worship, guide us aright and guide our children and what's aright. Accept all we have done in this life and make us an image of Al-Jannah Firdaus. Till I come on your way another time, I remain your sister in Islam, HASSANAT Muhammad Nafi, saying,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل